Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully the audio is not all over the place. I'm trying to do some settings in the background. Still getting used to this sped up version stuff and doing a voiceover. Like I said in a previous comment, not sure if you guys saw it, but I want to get back into doing this kind of stuff. Just fast artwork. And what better thing to do it on than Castle Dracula? Project's moving along. Anybody that was in the end show, I guess we'll call it, for last week's live stream, I was talking about where I'm getting lost in the story. It's getting way above me, and I need to just practice writing more in general. And that just means I can't tell the stories that I'd like to just yet because I don't have the ability to do so. So I wanted to shelf Castle Dracula for a little bit just because I wanted more. The more I was writing about it, the more Dracula sort of started showing up, you know, and the behind it, like what does it mean and what's all the deep meanings and all that good stuff, when really it really doesn't matter. So going through with it, and just very primitive story, and we're gonna, you know, break our teeth off and just get better at script writing, just like you do with drawing, right? Just draw. So let's talk about process. So you guys saw me start there, just drawing thumbnails, like I recommend you guys all do. I'm not quite sure what I wanted to do with this image. It was just for the main character here, Gildas, and I just wanted to have something, you know, kind of cool for him to do, something, you know, whatever. And I picked this shot here. It's pretty boring, but there's some compositional elements in there, and it's a safe drawing, and that's okay. This is, again, I'm still working, feeling the character out. Design elements were made on the spot as we go. Maybe I'll bring them up with you guys. So I picked the thumbnail that I wanted here, and I just blew up the image. And right now we're just tightening things up. What we're going to do here is one more layer of red, and that's, you guys have seen me do it before. I recommend you guys do it if you want. Sometimes I find like a lot of stuff gets muddy, and you know, like with rough anatomy in your sketches and stuff. So I'll just use another color, in this case red, just to throw in where the costume design elements would be, and it just makes it so my eye can see a little bit better. Even though I'm going to turn everything to blue lines after this, you'll see that it's a little different. Like some things are a little lighter, and I just find it works a little bit better. I recommend you guys try it out, see what you like. The method I'm actually working in, again, is the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawing Comics, the Freddy method, I like to call it. Highly recommend you guys check the book out if you guys are interested in digitally drawing and stuff. So we got all the roughs in there, and now we're going in with just a 3-pixel brush, putting in some of the details. This stage here, think of this as your tight pencils. Now, you can see there's a lot of gaps, a lot of holes and stuff in the artwork itself. At first, I was very scared about this when I was doing this method. It always felt like I needed to be precise and slow when I was doing this because it's tight inks, right? But you're going to see next Monday, the inks and rendering portion of the video will be uploaded. So you guys will have to wait. But in that one, you'll see how much adjusting we actually do. I'll be making new layers and drawing in black, obviously for the inks, you know, for our line weights and stuff. But I'll also be drawing in white. And what white does is help clean up areas that are just too messy. So again, when you think of this stage, it's your tight pencils. A lot of it's going to carry over to inks, and a lot of it's going to get replaced, as it should, you know. If you were to take your pencils, as tight as they could be, give it to an inker's going to clean it up, make it tight and presentable and final, right? That's the ideology you should be thinking of when you're working. I don't know if in other methods, but in this one especially, because I find it can be a little easy to get lost in perfection at this early of a stage, and I think it's just because of how perfect the, you know, pressure sensitivity turned off brush is. There's no room for line weights, rendering, shadows, right? It's just a line, and it's very hard to break your brain, at least it is for me, to break my mind out of that and just want to go into like instantly like line weights and stuff, right? So yeah, anyway, so we're going there, and you can see me doing stuff. I'll do it right here actually. I'll get a big fat brush, and I just run an action that I made in Photoshop, and all that is you make a brand new layer, put whatever shape you want. You saw me do it on his little bangs there on his hair, and I'm going to do it again for a couple other elements, even his hair in the background. I was just trying that out. But the idea is you just make a shape, fill it with black, and then because it's on its own layer, you can hold Control on a PC and left click on that layer, and it'll make a selection of that layer, and it just makes that marquee selection. What you're going to do is you're going to select, modify, contract. I usually go about 2 pixels. I find 3 gets a little thick, but play around, do what you want, and then just press delete. Or, sorry, fill with white, and that way it'll knock out all the layers behind it. and you don't have to go and doing what I'm doing right here, cleaning up the line art and stuff. Just faster way to do it. You can see me, I just did it right there. And one way you can get away, if you don't like just like a straight line like that, if you want it to fade away, you could play around with the pen tool again, or you just do it organically with a brush, and just turn your pressure sensitivity on so you can get thick to thin. That way it looks like it's going in the distance and stuff. Again, I just wanted to be real simple. Here I'm going to do it again for stitching. It's real fast. It's fast stuff. This is supposed to be a couple things, I don't know, right? Like a pinup slash kind of get the character going, some design elements. I'm finalizing on the design itself. There's some elements I added here, like the knives on his arm. If you guys remember, I believe I did a video going back a little bit talking about having a secondary character in there, a little bit like of a speedier sort of character that would throw knives all the time. And I just, for simplicity's sake in the story, I'm not quite sure who else will be in the story, if anybody, or if it's just Gildus' story here. So it doesn't even matter. I figure I'm trying to think of, he can have the whip in one hand, and then his other hand he can grab off his shoulder and still throw ranged knives, which I think is actually pretty cool. And then I wanted to have like that, sort of like the bracer gauntlet idea on his non-whip arm. That way he can, parry attacks and stuff. And it'll be metal. When we get into the rendering, I'll put some shine on there and stuff like that. And here you can see, I'm just, I turn the opacity down when I do these shapes. That way I can clean it up. Because there will be lines that overlap it. And here you can see just like how messy as hell that hair is. Honestly, I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, But once we get to inking and stuff, it'll be much cooler. We can get in there and do some proper highlights and stuff like that. It's more, again, just of spacing and all that. Here's just like a piece of rock with a cross at the top, just for, the feels. It's sort of like anything that's kind of got like that somewhat gothic look to it. Crosses and, at first I was afraid of where I was going with this story. It started off as like a Castlevania homage, and then it started to turn into like, well, I don't want it to be that. I want my own voice started to come through. And I still want it to be there. I don't want this guy to just totally be a rip-off of any of the Belmonts from the Castlevania games and stuff. But at the same time, it is my own stuff. I can figure out how to do it. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel, especially with the amount of time it's taking. Again, like I said when we started this, my writing chops are just not up to snuff. So last stage we're going to do here, and this would be the last, I would do this for comic pages, anything. I'm going to put a contour line around everything, and what I'm doing is I'm just touching up all the holes in the line art, because I'm going to use the magic wand tool and just make a selection of everything around there that's just white, and then we're going to invert it, fill it white, and then I can make a contour line very quickly around it, and then I'm going to go in there and touch up some of the line weights. Again, it's just to separate objects. It's not 100% where where the final image would be or look, because that's saved for the rendering. This is just meant to focus on trying to make the most kick-ass line art you can make, so that when you get to the inking, you don't got to worry about it. All you got to do is you work with what you got, make your fixes and stuff, and all that good stuff. So we're about wrapping up to the video. I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to Castlevania rocking and rolling soon. So you guys are Castlevania. Here we go, right? Castle Dracula stuff wrapping up. Or I should say started, and you guys can expect to see, more videos of that. More panel work and stuff. And if you guys are on Patreon, head on over there. I'm going to be uploading the line art for this, so if you'd like to fiddle around with the layers in Photoshop or even color it, you can do that. So I'll see you guys soon. Keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.